Good morning and welcome to Healthy Hearts and Guillotines. My name is Chessie and I'm here with
Zakim.
I'm glad to have you back. It's been a few weeks since we actually had an opportunity to record.
We're not going to talk about what happened last month.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about last month. Last month was
We will talk about the fact I read 4 books since the last podcast, but that's for next time.
Next time. Brilliant. Well, I'm going to say that we've got a new audio setup here, so hopefully things will be a little cleaner, a little clearer. While we're at it this week, this week's podcast is going to be kind of a difficult one because we're going at a slightly obscure topic, but one that's affecting everybody. And if you're part of our society, you can't really escape it, but you can defend yourself from it. And that is ego addiction. We're all seeking out a better way of being. That's just, each of us is seeking a better way to hunt for our daily meals, to get from place to place, to present ourselves to other people. But ego addiction comes along and says, you're not allowed to feel comfortable, happy, safe, unless you conform to this image and also give me money.
Yeah, well, that's how people use an unbalanced ego to make profit off of you.
And nobody has a perfectly balanced ego.
No.
Nobody. Not even me.
No, it's quite difficult to have such a thing because if you think you don't have an ego, that means you most certainly have an ego.
You got a big ego. Yeah, so we should probably at least make a definition of what we mean by ego and by addiction here.
Yeah, so of course, ego is just a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance, how they see themselves.
And it's the self-esteem and self-importance, how they see themselves in relation to other people, too. Mm-hmm. And ego addiction is a sense that, you get a little boost, a little joyful burst when somebody else agrees with you.
Or they compliment you.
When they say, I approve of you. And you can, in your life, get actually addicted to those little boosts because our brains are put together to provide us with pleasure for doing positive things, usually.
They started out in the caveman era. They were good and they were working. And now, well, someone's taking advantage of your unbalanced ego.
And the fact that we haven't moved a whole lot beyond that caveman brain. We still have a whole lot of that caveman brain left.
Yeah, mentally, we have not moved past the caveman era. With technology, we've moved a lot past the caveman era, and this psychological dysbiosis between these two is what causes a lot of issues.
Well, and we've got one generation, let's face it, one generation, unfortunately my generation, between the period where there was no consumer internet and now AI slop and engagement farming.
And let's not forget advertising min-maxed beyond morals and ethics.
Yeah, advertising gone completely out of its mind. So we're now in a position where at the moment you're born, you are having to build a mind able to defend both you and your wallet from these predatory ego boosters. And we're again, this is the cyberpunk dystopia. I will say there are healthy ways to live even in this situation.
There is. I would say an ego is like a vitamin balance. You can have too much or not little.
Yeah, too much or too little is... Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm getting my blood work done once a month. And hey, I manage it, so why not for the ego as well?
It would be nice if we could just get our ego work done. Look, I need you to stick a needle in my ass once a month and tell me how much ego I have. Oh, too much. Too much. The tell me what I'm going to need you to lay it out here because you are our health and wellness expert, and I am an idiot with a microphone.
A charming idiot.
Yes, I'd like to think so. What is the best thing we can do when we are seeking to balance our ego for healthy living?
Well, of course, it is as someone who wrote The Art of War said, is know thy enemy. And the enemy is, if they want your attention, if they want your money, probably your enemy.
Probably your enemy.
Except your friends.
Yeah, but my friends don't want my money for the most part. Yeah, my friends, they're happy to have my attention when it's there, but it's a mutual thing.
Yeah.
I want their attention, they want my attention. That's mutual. Marketers, they don't give a damn about me. They want my money and my attention, and if they didn't have to give me anything back for that...
They wouldn't.
They wouldn't. They would fully walk in, pick my pocket, and exeunt stage left, pursued by bear. So, I suppose awareness is the first step.
Yeah, the first step is realizing maybe you don't need a new piece of clothing to feel better. That you don't need a new car, new makeup, or just new anything to have something that would boost your ego. And it's difficult to say what boosts your ego and what just boosts your emotional state. Because we were just talking about cigarettes in the beginning. It was difficult to market cigarettes in the certain way that it would boost the ego. But they did it.
They sure came up with a method.
If you put a cigarette between your lips, you're going to look so mysterious and sexy.
And that was amazing because cigarettes are addictive, but they somehow managed to make cigarettes. They made cigarettes emblematic of both masculinity and femininity. Because women and men had their own brand, and it's a little white stick. You can't tell what the brand is, but you know, and the people around you know, and the marketers sure know.
Yeah.
And they sold entire identities based on inhaling smoke. Is that a wild to you? But it's wild to me.
I mean, it's not totally wild, as some car brands are more favored by men and some by women. Like BMW's men, just obviously more men. And they do know how to market it to your egos. Like, do you feel not masculine enough, not cool enough? Well, you see, here's this advertisement of a guy just drifting, racing with his BMW.
So
masculine, strong, cool. Buy one now.
They're always looking for those places of imbalance.
Because that's where you're weakest.
That is where you're weakest. And our best defense against that is to know our own places of imbalance.
Yeah.
So
think
awareness.
about what you want, but you're not sure what you want. Like, would you be satisfied with a car, or do you need that specific car? Or do you need clothing, or do you need the new Gucci clothing? Because something's lacking in you.
Oh.
It's like, are you okay with how your body looks, how your face looks, or has someone brainwashed you into having a really low ego that's desperate for a boost, and thus you need to put on something to feel okay, and you can go out into the public eye?
This is gonna hurt, but I'm going to make a confession here.
Go ahead.
I'm a photographer. That's not the confession.
How dare you?
No, that's not the confession. The confession is that I have spent the last month and a half lusting after this camera lens that is 700 euros.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a cheap lens. But it's 700 euros I don't have, and I've been lusting after it because I have been watching YouTube videos about this lens and lusting after the pictures that it takes. And at the end of the day, I was looking at my own photos, my own photographs, and the things that I do in my pictures. And I can do every single thing this lens can do, either in post, using post-processing on my computer, or in my damn camera. It's not magic. And it's only a thing I want because I watched a bunch of better photographers tell me it was a thing I wanted.
So you're admitting that you got brainwashed by propaganda for a second.
I absolutely got brainwashed by marketing.
Yeah, and well, all of us have and probably will fall into it back again. But like you said, you need to take a more objective look and see, okay, what would actually change if I got this product? Because one of the issues with, well, ego boosting behavior and ego addiction is that your ego starts controlling you instead of keeping you balanced and actually helping you achieve goals. Because your ego would naturally go down when you're not skilled enough to achieve something. Like you go out, an amateur actor, into a professional studio and you feel, I'm the worst one here.
Do you have some imposter syndrome on the fact that you've gotten what? 3 advertisements and a role in a couple of TV shows?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry, we're not talking about this.
But yeah, it's all very related. That's a more of a natural thing. And if someone said, hey, what you need to become a real actor is insert product here, and then they show all you would need to do is just do it in the poisonous marketing way, and maybe I would fall for it because I felt that my ego was low, and usually it's a signal that something is lacking. That something was just more experience and more training, but we like to get the shortcut.
Take the shortcut.
Because
and if it was just, let's face it, what Hollywood loves to sell these days is the thing that the actor or actress aspiring needs is more beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And whether that's, let's face it, makeup or facial surgery to become more beautiful.
A $2,000 suit.
A $2,000 suit. This particular haircut that the fashion magazines are saying is definitely the trendiest this year. Whatever the thing they're selling is, at the end of the day, it's selling the momentary boost of confidence, the little hit of dopamine from conforming to a majority opinion, or at least what they're presenting as a majority opinion.
Or the more correct, or the more enlightened, the more fashionable, the more liked.
I love that you brought up enlightened. No, think about the enlightened thing, though. Ego addiction is huge in the wellness community, and I'm talking about the wellness community at large because they are constantly selling things. Everything from this new vitamin regimen to crystal healing. You'll feel better if you just do this one more thing and give us money.
And that is like one of the issues with addiction to ego boosting behavior is that you start with the shortcuts and that's all you can ever manage when you're just in the deep end.
When you're in the really deep end, and if we're just talking products, that's one thing. We also have things in politics, because this is, half and half a wellness and politics conversation that we have every week here. In politics, what they sell is that if you agree with this set of ideas, you can be in the majority and therefore be valid and good. This became an absolute plague in the United States, which is where I'm from, where they sold to a specific group of disaffected blue-collar workers that if they just hated immigrants and just didn't like black people, brown people, and just didn't like the other political party, that they would become part of this grand movement to make America great again. And that by becoming part of that, they would get some of the glitz and glam that was presented by their politicians as the outcome of America being great again. And that came in the form of marble bathrooms and gold gilt on everything. But it was this offer of believe what I believe, listen to me, and I will tell you that your valid. I'll even tell you that your prejudices are valid.
As long as they get what they want, they will give you this little boost.
Yeah, and that was exactly what was sold. I don't know how you fight that.
They will tell you it's okay to be racist in a certain way or discriminate against a certain place. And then a month later, they say it's bad to do the thing we just told you to do when the market shifts and they have to sell something else.
That seems to be the case, and yet there is some percent of the world that is always going to fall for that. I don't want to be in that percent, whether it is a politician selling the idea of personal validity through political agreement with whatever wacky crap they have, or someone who says, buy my car or you're not a good person. The awareness of our own weaknesses.
Yeah, and for that you have to be disconnected from, the poison stream for at least part of your day. I like to spend at least a third or half of my day just like not connected.
Not connected. Don't be involved.
Because then I have the space to observe myself and see, hey, maybe I want something like that. But okay, why do I want something like that? And then I just realize, hey, it's just my ego. It looks for a shortcut. But the shortcut is like a hit of crack. It feels good, and then it's gone.
And then it's gone.
And then you feel like bad.
You get 15 minutes of, this is great. And then you go like, oh, okay.
And then it's 15 years of addiction.
Yes.
I'm not sure how long an ego addiction could be. It could be lifelong. If you don't ever acknowledge it, that most definitely will be lifelong.
It will be lifelong.
But you can tackle it. It's not a short-term project. It is an ongoing project, like eating healthy. People say, hey, look, try this new diet. You're going to look great. And diets are short-term. You lose whatever or you gain whatever you want, and then you stop. What happens?
You stop.
You go back to where you were.
So finding your medium ground, your healthy medium ground, and trying to position yourself there in a state of balance would be sort of the ideal outcome.
Yeah, and for that you have to realize you will have to say no to those dopamine hits.
And the things that are intentionally unbalancing you.
Well, yeah, like it's like a sugary donut. Like it's made that you eat it, you feel amazing, and then when you don't have it,
you feel
and
bad.
You want it again.
Yeah, in the United States, we've even managed to weaponize the joyful feelings we got out of sugar by making super sugar. High fructose corn syrup, as it turns out, is as addictive as like some mind-altering substances. And oh my God, when I first got here, I had 2 weeks where I would have done some very degrading things for some M&Ms.
Yeah,
Like some American-style high fructose corn syrup M&Ms. But it is possible to get away from nearly any addiction if you are given space. Finding ways to create space is something else. I feel for people whose phones are literally part of their job.
and who just instinctively grab for the phone.
Yeah, I instinctively grab for the phone every morning, which is a problem that one of my partners is trying aggressively to fix. He will fully grab my phone when we are eating dinner and run into another room with it and hide it somewhere. I've just slowly started to surrender to the fact that I'm not going to get to surf Instagram while I'm eating anymore. It has made my food taste better.
Wow, wouldn't you know? It must
It's
be
so
magic.
odd. My meals actually have a flavor now.
Because you pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And it's a very similar example to the state of emptiness when compared to the constant hits of dopamine or ego boosts. You have to be okay with that lack of hits. The same with a diet, the same with Instagram. Just like, hey, just like empty. Silence.
That's going to feel painful to some people, though. Like, that's going to feel like real, genuine pain.
It will feel painful for probably anyone in everyone who does have an actual serious problem. So if it does feel painful, yeah, that's your unofficial diagnosis.
Here's your diagnosis. Take this with you to the... You are now prescribed an hour of sitting mindfully doing nothing for, every day.
It's the same anecdote of, I can quit when I want, but I don't wanna. Yeah. And you say, okay, I'll quit. Like, say, I'll quit in the day. It's going to be easy. And then you just realize, oh, I'm in the deep end.
One of my friend of mine, he was an otherwise very intelligent guy who had fallen for one of his favorite influencers pushing him to try this for a daytime wakey boost. And what pushed him to do it was this influencer personally responding to one of his comments on YouTube saying, oh yeah, this stuff works great. And he got a moment where he got to interact with this famous person. And my friend was on Kratom for 2 years.
One comment, 2 years. That is amazing return on investment.
And it turns out, of course, that this drug is horribly addictive.
Well, all good drugs to make a profit are addictive.
Yeah, but this one creates some real nasty chemical dependencies. If you are seeking not to become addicted, you're going to be watching a lot of the day for those things which are intentionally unbalancing you. And in his case, what he needed was external validation from someone. And he got a little hit of that, and it came with a 2-year chemical dependency. Wild to me what the human brain can do. But at the same time, he was working too much. Mm-hmm. He was on 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and was not able to spend time with the people who validated him externally. And if he had known that, and if he had been aware of it, and had reduced the amount he was working consciously, he might not have ended up with that 2-year dependency, because all it took, they found a point of genuine weakness for him. We all have those points of genuine weakness, and it is only our mindfulness, our willingness to examine our own points of endangerment that can truly keep us from them.
Whatever our weak point is, we like to say, okay, I'm going to fix it. Mm-hmm. Immediately we try to jump, because being with the discomfort of acknowledging what our weakness is and just being in the room with it is just a lot. And as the years progress, we have less and less time to do it, so we're less and less resistant to it.
That's true.
And so it's like a tiny bit of discomfort. Don't worry, child. We got everything you want. We'll give you sugar. We'll give you dopamine if you want. We'll even give you
an AI girlfriend who will tell you you're so sexy.
Or anything else that they will come up with.
Speaking of that, we need to do an episode on artificial intelligence. Just the whole thing of artificial intelligence existing to affirm our own ideas. But since we're coming to the end this week, let's see if we can summarize here. What's the best way to start to defend ourselves from ego addiction?
We should give ourselves some time to be with our discomfort, even though we really want our ego to be a little higher. It's not in our best interest to be in a constant loop, is it?
No, and I mean, it doesn't have to be an hour of meditation every day. We're all really programmed to avoid discomfort. Mm-hmm. Take 3 minutes, set your phone aside, put your shoulders back in your chair, unkink your back, close your eyes, and look for where you're genuinely uncomfortable, where you're feeling need, where you're feeling want. If you take those 3 minutes, it's probably going to hurt the first day. But if you do it again tomorrow, heck, if you spend 5 days doing it, by that 5th day, even if you're only taking 3 or 5 minutes, you're going to start to know yourself a little bit better and know where you are both vulnerable and where you're strong.
And of course, with this, just by delaying that hit of dopamine or ego-boosting action, you are protecting your time, your mental health, And your wallet.
And your wallet. The wallet's the one that I'm most worried about right now. Anyway, it was good to be here with you this week, Zakim. And yeah, let's do that AI episode.
Hell yeah.
You can get in touch with us on healthyheartsandguillotines.com. Feel free to throw that into Google. We actually have a website now.
Hallelujah.
And you can also, if you want to send us a like on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, it turns out we're everywhere. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you for being here, Zakim.
Thank you. And remember, your health is in your hands.